Welcome to the review of the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. This is a long overdue video, so without any further ado, I guess, let's just get started. Okay, the first point here I'm talking about is Android specifically, and well, not specifically Android in general, but just Android in general. Not Android on the Note 10, but just in general. So about a year ago, I switched all the way over. About a year ago, I switched to iOS, mainly for the Apple Watch. And I think the phone I was using prior to that was a Galaxy Note 8 with Android 9. We're now on Android 12 on this device, and Android 12 is much, I want to say different compared to Android 9 for sure. One UI 4, sorry, works it's about the same in my view as One UI version 1, which is what shipped on the on devices with Android 9. Another thing is that you've got pre-installed apps that I didn't have before, or the apps that we can now install that I couldn't previously on Android. Like I'm using Google Messages right now, and that used to not be able to be installed on default. Apparently that's only pre-installed on certain devices. I think that's with One UI 3.1 and newer devices. This device shipped with One UI 1 with Android 9, so I don't think it got that pre-installed. And it also is now pre-installed with Google Duo for Samsung Galaxy, which I think is just another way of saying that, it's a pre-installed app that's meant for Samsung devices. I do have a few complaints with Android or One UI Skin. You've still got Facebook installed on this, which is, pretty annoying. Like if I open the apps selector, show all the disabled apps. I disabled Bixby, but Facebook's disabled. Or when it comes, Meta services is enabled, Netflix is enabled. All these other, some apps that aren't necessary or are always enabled. Apps also already disabled, which I've never understood why. Apparently some battery saving thing, but I don't see how that saves me battery. You used to be able to turn it off in One UI version 1, which I did, but you can't turn it off in One UI version 4. It's pretty hard to do that. You've got to go in battery and everything. Android apps are still not as optimized as the iOS counterparts, especially I use Notion, as you can see. And Notion is just basically an iOS clone on Android. It doesn't look Android-esque at all. And a lot of apps aren't just like Twitter on Android crashes much more than Twitter on iOS. I found that the Reddit experience on Android is much worse than the iOS counterpart. Other apps like YouTube aren't as good, and even YouTube's own app, YouTube Studio, isn't that good on Android either. I've had issues with both my authentication app, Bitwarden, my password manager app, and Signal, my main communication app. I guess they just don't work half the time, or they don't send me notifications as they should. That's only applying to Signal, but Authy's interface isn't optimized for Android at all, nor is Bitwarden's interface. It's just a mishmash of the iOS and then Android-esque, if you get what I mean. And I'm still surprised that with the the gesture swipe, you can't exactly use third-party launchers. This is Samsung's One UI Home. I can't use Nova, I can't use Launcher, I can't use any other launcher other than Samsung's One UI without having to root it, get Magisk, and other things. Multitasking is a point where iPhones have lacked for a long time. With an Android, you're able to, this is the Edge bar, part of One UI, and I can open what's not sensitive, Spotify. I can open Spotify and then Notion at the same time, and I'll be able to, I don't know what's Notion, it's just videos, okay. Then I can open them at the same time, and even if I want to, I can just swipe again on the Edge. So I want a calendar, I can open up and pop up. And that applies to about every app, which is pretty neat considering even the implementation isn't the greatest, but it works, which is like we have the ability to, which I think is better than not having the ability to. For example, I don't have the ability to launch 2 apps on iOS, which is pretty annoying. I actually split view more often than I thought I would. I still have some small complaints with split view in that with Android it doesn't not every app is split view optimized, which makes sense. But luckily Samsung does an option which I figured out, which I didn't write in the script. We've got I think a labs feature, at least I'm pretty sure, that allows you to force every app into force every app into split view. I think that's more developer mode, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember exactly. Yeah, that's an option for that. For biometrics, as we're talking about security, or we were at some point, biometrics with fingerprint and face, they work pretty well. I found that face 9 times out of 10 will not recognize my face when I want it to. It will recognize it at the worst times, but if I really need like face to work, it won't work. And so I always have to use fingerprint, which isn't too annoying, but it's annoying considering that it's just an image of my face. It's not too much for it to ask. Yeah, so that's about it for biometrics. For specs, I should have said at the start already, but I've got a dual SIM Exynos version. This is the SM, I don't remember the specs, whatever the serial number is for this, or model number, same thing. This is the base 256, 12 gigs of RAM. It's got a 1440p AMOLED display, I think rated up to like 300-400 nits, I don't remember. And it's got 3 lenses, which you've got an ultra wide, the wide, and the zoom lens. So if I just flip the phone on the back, these 3 lenses from top to bottom are ultra wide, wide angle, so your normal, and your telephoto / zoom lens. Just like any other device with at least dual cameras, telephoto doesn't activate sometimes, and I found that annoying because the kind of point of telephoto lens is that you're able to zoom in on subjects more easier because it's designed for telephoto like zooming in, but it just doesn't work sometimes, which I find that's a bit annoying. I'm able to go up to I think 1080p 30 fps on ultra wide and 4K 30 fps on ultra wide, but I'm not able to go into 1080p 60 or 4K 60. Okay, I'm just gonna take a photo of something just to click it. Okay, if I open the camera, as you can see, if I just go over to video, here are the options we have. I don't have 8K support on this device, which that's actually okay, but I know that some devices have 8K as well, and I'm just a bit confused as to why we don't have 8K on your phone from 2019. But I don't think that came out with 8K until at least standard, at least until like 2021 on some devices. Even some like I think Xiaomi, Realme devices have 8K. It's just a bit surprising to me. That's about it. Video quality, as you can tell, I'm not filming this on the Samsung. I'm filming this on my iPhone, and I filmed a lot of my video. I think my latest, not this video, but one of the latest videos that's going to come out later, the Z Fold 3 unboxing, which just hit subscribe, it's coming out very soon. I filmed that on my Note, and I kind of regret it because it looks pretty grainy compared to whenever I film on iPhones. I find it's a bit annoying that the 1080p 60 fps cap on 1080p 30 or 30 frames cap on ultra wide is a bit annoying. I feel like ultra wide should be able to do like 60 frames, but apparently not. Even on the latest Galaxy phones, I'm pretty sure you still can't. On the Galaxy Z Fold 3 you can't. Pretty annoying. I don't understand why, but if anyone knows, just leave it in the comments, I guess. What else do I want to say here? Photo quality is pretty good compared to my iPhone. I should have some photos I've taken from both devices, maybe popping up at the screen somewhere. If I don't, then I'll link some below, I guess, or link it to my Twitter post, which I've probably made about it. We also have Pro Video, which we didn't have in One UI 1. I should have mentioned that earlier. I'm not aware if One UI 2, 2.5, 3, or 3.1 had Pro Video, but if they did, that's great. Dex on One UI 4 is actually it's getting close to being something that resembles, a desktop. I've never really treated Dex as a desktop environment. I've never used it for like desktop environment things. So that's why I've never said that, it's a desktop I've never said that it's a desktop environment like thing. I was actually gonna make a short on Dex at one point. Never did. That was when I was using the Note 8. Now that I have this, I can probably make a video on Dex about what it is. Yeah, so I guess that's about it for kind of hardware-ish. More onto like battery. This has about a 4,170 milliamp hour battery, and that right now, after about 3 years, about 3 years of usage now, is about 88% battery health according to AccuBattery, which is about 3,664 milliamps according to that. Samsung, for some reason, they don't have battery health. They have like a battery indicator to tell you how worn down the battery is, but they don't have a health feature, which is a bit weird to me. That's about 5 to 6 hours according to AccuBattery, last time I checked. Basically, it lasts me from like 8 a.m. to like 4 p.m. on a good day. Yeah, that's all for battery. If I'm filming a lot though, I definitely do have to charge it. And considering that the back glass is just a crack, I might need to just replace the battery eventually, either way. This is a bit worse, or about the same as my iPhone, which is, about the same battery life. So I can't really complain too much, but it's just a bit surprising. That's about it. Wireless charging still works. I think it's capped at 15 watts. I don't use wireless charging because I just prefer a fast charging cable, which I think that goes up to 25 watts, if I remember right, or something higher. This also has an SD card slot, which I've never thought I would be so surprised about. But considering this is, 2022, and like every phone you can get now is like no SD card slot, I think it's safe to say that it's a feature that it's pretty, like, I use SD cards pretty often. In my old Note 8 with about 128 gigs of storage, I use SD cards a lot because like it just kept running out of storage, and any device I used that had an SD card slot, I utilized it. It's a bit annoying that devices now don't have it. It's a bit strange as well because the Note 10 non-plus, just the regular Note 10, didn't have support for micro SD for some reason, but the tray showed micro SD regardless, which it just feels like they were gonna have micro SD, but they took it out because they needed to sell the Note 10 Plus for some reason. Anyways, micro SD card, really nice to have. That's about it. Now I think we've got some more disadvantages with software. Again, I'm just reading it as how the Notion script shows. One UI 4's lock screen isn't as customizable compared to iOS 16 developer beta, just iOS 16 in general. Yeah, we have good lock, but that's not out of the box. If we're strictly comparing this against out of the box experiences on both devices, the iPhone has a more customizable lock screen. The home screen, though, that's a different story. Androids, I love the home screen. I can move icons anywhere. This is actually a gap, not like an actual widget like the iPhone. Yeah, that's just a bit, surprising to me. So after a couple of years, you still gotta, after like at least 2 years after the introduction of widgets, you still gotta make a widget just to get a blank space. There's still more optimization that One UI needs. Always on display is a bit confusing to me because if I double tap on the clock or my music player to press that next, like, previous track or forward track, right, and I press power, it turns on the screen, So I have to swipe back, but it doesn't show me the swiping back animation, so I don't ever know. I think when you press the power button, it should just, you know, go back to always on. That's just my opinion. Animations compared to iOS is pretty poor. Ice Universe on Twitter has talked a lot about animations on One UI, and they're pretty bad compared to previous versions. Apparently, One UI 5 is going to be fixing this, but this device is also at the end of its cycle. Technically, it should be on One UI 3, but Samsung extended it for another year, so we're only getting this year. We're pretty getting maximum One UI 4.1.1 or One UI or Android 12.1, and then it'll be done for the year, I guess, done for the cycle of this phone. The S Pen is one of the things that I've had issues with as well. So if I just take it out here, right, you can probably tell I don't have air actions enabled on this device. Up here, no air actions. If I go to settings, air actions is disabled. And that's because my pen, the battery or capacitor, one of those two things, has had issues. Reddit has had tons of issues. It's a pretty common issue, and then solution is to buy new S Pen, and I think that's a bit, you know, pretty bad like design, I guess. I can't really say anything else. I don't use actions either way, but it's just surprising that a lot of Note 10 units have had the same issue, and it's just not like a singular thing. The S Pen and the touch digitizers can't be used at the same thing. As I wrote in my script, this might just be because the digitizers can't be used at the same time, or maybe it's some palm rejection stuff. That's about it. I'm also not a fan of moving everything to the left side. I've always been a person that has always wanted more like power on this side and then volume on this side, never both on one side or both on the other. And for about every phone I've owned so far, it's always been volume and maybe an extra key here and then power. So it's just a bit confusing to me to get used to. And once you get used to it, use any other phone and you realize that, you know, oh wait, if the power button's on this side now, it's not on that side like my normal phone, and that's just confusing to me. I had to set up on my Note because I own Note 8, which I still own, so that the Bixby key makes a quick command to turn off the screen because it's so confusing. Now, overall, this entire device, I think it's a pretty solid phone. I'm still using it. I've been using it for about 2 months now. I don't really see anything that would make me switch back to iOS, other than, you know, maybe the lock screen. But I mean, that's not really a big part. It's a big part, but it's not one of the reasons. Example, I have YouTube Advanced installed, even though it's dead, it still works. And picture-in-picture for YouTube Advanced is pretty cool. That's what I don't like on iOS. Is that, well, not on iOS, but that's on Google's side. Is that picture-in-picture is limited to premium users, and I don't understand why. Like, I feel like they could limit it to all videos but music ones, which is what they've done traditionally for free accounts. Yeah, it just really depends on your preference, I guess. And my preference is, you know, using it inside that I prefer an Android. There's just more features, more things I like on Android that I don't get on the iPhone. And this thing as well, talking about just like construction, this is a tank. I dropped this so much and it has not fallen. Actually, during the filming process, right, I can roll a blooper at the end, but I was talking and I knocked the phone off. It went down there, hit the floor, and it was still fine. And I think that's like a lot of devices I own that do that. They survive it, but not that good. This also has the plastic screen protector still on, so I'm surprised it hasn't cracked yet. If it has, then, you know, now it's a bit costly to repair, but I wouldn't repair it regardless. Yeah, so I guess that's the Note 10 review. If you like the review, you know, like, subscribe. You know, subscribe because we've got a Z Fold 3 unboxing coming soon. What else should I be working on? Videos. Let's go into Notion and see what I have. An Apple Watch review might be coming soon. I had a WWDC video, but I don't want to do that anymore because it's way past WWDC. Yeah, so yeah, maybe the unboxing, maybe an Apple Watch SE video later. Yeah, so thanks for watching. See you guys later.